I don't know what's going on. There should be nothing about my computer that's doing this sort of stuff. There really shouldn't, but like I don't know if it's YouTube or whatever that's just it like freezes up my OBS and it just goes to 0%. So sorry about that. Yeah, I'm back. Do I think what Epic just said was smarter? I didn't see it, so I apologize what that comment was. But now my audio's bad. All right, audio should be better now. Sorry about that. I didn't see what Epic said. Yeah, so yeah, I fixed it. I don't know what's going on. That's several times that's happened to me lately. I don't know what's happening. So sorry. I don't know if it's YouTube or what. I don't know. I doubt it is YouTube because it looks like my computer, like YouTube freezes first, but then my whole computer freezes. So I don't know. No, I don't think that my stream went off because I think it was probably a technical issue on my computer. I do think YouTube messes with me in little ways, but I'm not big enough on YouTube for them to take an interest in messing with me. So, yeah, see you, Puffin Penguin. So, no, I doubt that it was an intentional act by YouTube to censor me because I was saying whatever I was just saying was the truth. What I was saying was the truth, but I don't know that, just throwing that out there, So where was I? So yeah, I think I said my spiel on that. And look, I know this is going to be every one of my videos for the next month until the court stuff's, the Illuminati cut me off, until the court stuff's sorted out, But again, I just want to be clear. Like, you might think I'm a lunatic if you're on the left and you're watching this. This guy's a lunatic. He thinks the election was stolen, blah, 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 blah. I've given all my reasons for that. Many of which are indisputable as far as pre-election, the tech censorship, all that stuff. But I'm not calling for violence. I'm calling for the opposite. Right? I'm calling for someone has to stand up and be the bigger person and say, look, yeah, it would be cathartic to finally look when Joe Biden screws over the people on the left and say, see, look, he screwed you over. And I am doing some of that now. Don't get me wrong. But I'm also trying to throw an olive branch out and saying, we told you so. What should Trump do? That was a question I had. Oh, here's what Trump should do. Declassify everything. 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 Oh, you mean the Russia stuff? Yeah. But everything. That's what Trump should do. Trump should issue an executive order today disbanding the CIA and the FBI. He should literally take some of his money to start a website and put every classified document in the history of this country on it. Every single one. Every one. If he believes the election was stolen, that's what I would do. Want to know how the FBI spied on Martin Luther King? Me too. Want to know what really happened in those JFK files? Yep, me too. How about drug running by our CIA? Love to hear it. Wouldn't you like to know all of the names of the congressional members, Republican and Democrat, that used that congressional slush fund to bury stories of sexual assault? I'd sure love to hear about all that. Everything. Now, I guess I could, if there's something that literally has no political benefit whatsoever, that it's just like, you wouldn't want to release positions of our assets in different countries. I get that. So I'm not including that obvious strategic stuff. But everything else, anything that's 20 years or older, every single thing should be released. Treasury wouldn't do that. I'd put it on his Twitter. Burn it down. Not literally, but the establishment. Good. They would shoot him first. Fine. Not good. I don't want him shot. But that proves the point, doesn't it? I mean, if we're at the point where we're saying the president can't out corruption because he'll be killed, we're in a bad spot. I'd put all the Hunter Biden top stuff out. All of it. I would say, and even in addition to that, And again, I'm being hyperbolic. Don't get me wrong. First off, no, I don't want anyone shot. But he should. All of this stuff that I'm talking about, CIA drug running, all the corruption of the CIA and the FBI. Let's see the files. What's all the evidence the FBI had on the Nevada shooter? Remember that? Remember the biggest mass shooting in history? It was a country music festival. So they didn't care. Just deplorable Trump supporters, most of them. So they didn't care about that. Remember that? Remember that guy? You forgot about that, didn't you? Wonder what the FBI had on him, his files. Remember they told you, we have no idea why he did this shooting. Now, they could tell you specifically, anytime a Democrat's targeted, within hours, they know this is exactly why, this is what these people going after Governor Whitmer were doing. They know all of that, but clueless on the biggest mass shooting. Huh. Isn't that curious? Wow, that's unusual. So I declassify all that stuff. Of course, military stuff and stuff like that would jeopardize our military and whatever. Yeah, that's different. But half the time when we try to declassify stuff, they say, remember? Oh, we can't declassify the memo. Remember the Devin Nunes memo? We can't declassify it. Sources and methods will be jeopardized. It was a lie. Nothing was jeopardized. It was their corruption that was being outed. Steve Clark talks about trucker strike. Yes, those are the types of things we should be doing. I've said it a million times. I talk to a lot of truckers. It's hard. They're suffering right now. COVID screwed them. So I know my in-laws actually, what they do is they drive oversized loads for modular homes. Well, the problem is a lot of the parts needed for these modular homes, people were laid off because of COVID. So there were less people working at the modular home factory and less of the parts able to make the homes. So now there's less houses to be hauled, which means less money for the truck drivers. Right? And the same would be true of other trucking industries. If the economy declines because people aren't working, that means there's less trucking. So it's tough to ask them to go on strike, but that's exactly what needs to happen. Why do these cities, we're all racist deplorables, right? We're just racist deplorables. They don't need our help. If you're a farmer, stop selling to the inner city. Stop it. Just stop. Nope. I'm not going to sell there anymore. We're racist deplorables. They'll take care of it. They're smarter than us. They're better than us. Let them take care of it. That's it. We don't have the power. I don't want any harm to anyone in the city, mind you. Not at all. Not at all. They assure us they're brilliant. They'll be fine. They'll figure it out. No problem. That's what should happen. Yes, pull our military out of all these wars and where they're stationed overseas. Totally agree. Yes, I think there was fraud. Yes, this is live. Alex. Yes, it's live. Yes, I think there was fraud. Unless you're watching this later, then it's not live. But to you, Alex, yes, it is live. So it's sorry, it had computer issues and it went out for a second. So those are the types of things we can do. Boycott Amazon. Boycott child porn providing Netflix. Boycott YouTube. Right, Nickel Licker, I agree. Nickel Licker says Dems had internal polling showing they knew they had to cheat a long time ago. I agree. But again, it's not like, here's the thing. I understand if you're on the left, you're looking like, look, maybe some of this stuff looks shady, but there's no evidence that it's fraud. It's sour grapes by Trump and his supporter. I get that. So let's not talk about election day fraud anymore, okay? Let's talk about the fraud leading up to the election. Changing how we vote 3 months outside. Why? If Trump did that, imagine that. Imagine the states that had mail-in voting, and imagine if Trump was just like, nah, I think there's dangers with it. I'm going to make it illegal. Wait, what? You would say he changed the way we vote 3 months out, and then he ends up winning in a shady way. Would you have been like, oh, that's reasonable? Imagine if tech companies were censoring liberals. Imagine if they were censoring Joe Biden every time he tried to say something. Imagine if media companies were covering up stories of Trump's corruption, but reporting everything they could on Joe Biden without being sourced at all. Imagine if they were illegally producing Joe Biden's tax documents and other documents of Joe Biden that made him look bad, but refused to do so for Donald Trump. What would you say? Did you have a problem that you thought Russia helped Trump in 2016? You thought that was corrupt? Did you want that investigated? Then why would you mock Trump supporters for wanting this election theft investigated? Let me be clear, right? I've already explained how eventually I believe that there will be useful idiots on the left, like Black Lives Matter, Antifa, and all these places that will be cracked down upon by Joe Biden. They're not going to care. They don't care about the average people. They'll go back to ignoring the black community for 4 years. Sure, they'll talk about it, but they're not going to do anything, right? It's just going to happen. It's the way it is. And those people are eventually going to be like, what happened? Just like they did under 8 years of Obama. So it'll be easy to make fun of those people, but I think we should try to reach out. But let me since I've been critical, it seems I've been pessimistic, and Trump supporters probably didn't like a lot of what I said today. Let me give you some red meat that you'll like about. I could talk about needing to reach across the aisle, and excuse the harsh language coming up here. I don't swear very often, but move your kids out of the room if they're listening, right? Okay? I could talk about reaching across the other aisle. The people on the left that called me racist or called us racist and deplorables and uneducated and Russia stooges, fuck you. Shut your fucking mouth. Shut up. I'll reach across the aisle to you if I feel like it. But you don't have the right to say a word. Not a word. Shut your mouth. I understand the bigger picture, so I'll try to talk to you. I will. See you, Aftershock. Thanks, man. I'm not going to listen to that. Don't get in your high horse. It's like that guy. I've seen this. That guy, right? You're at the bar and he punches you in the mouth. So you bring your fist back and he says, hey, violence doesn't solve anything. Let's have a beer and talk this out. Oh, yeah, after you punched me. We choose whether or not to reach across the aisle, not you. Now, I'm choosing to do that. I understand, though, those on my side that won't make that choice. I understand. I'm trying to convince them why it's important. But I understand. But you on the left, and it's not everyone on the left. By the way, not everyone on the left called us racist and stuff like that. Those people are fine. But to those that did, shut up. You have no right to say anything. That's it. I have standards and principles. I could look myself in the mirror. Though I could afford to lose some weight if I'm looking myself in the mirror. Which I'm working on. I'm trying here, so. Feel free to fat shame me all you want. I don't care. If it helps me lose weight, it'll be worth it. So I don't mind people making fun of me. But it is one of the most aggravating things you could see, though. Oh, who's, oh, yes, I'm a blue checkmark Twitter person, and, and I've called, yes, I've called Trump supporters racist for 4 years. It's time to heal. It's time to bring our country together. Let's reach out. How magnanimous of you. What did I say? This was the Democrats' plan all along. Vote for us or we'll burn everything down. One of the journalists, I can't remember what outlet, he tweeted yesterday. He didn't realize that he outed the whole game. He tweeted yesterday, why is Washington still boarded up? We won. In other words, he knew that it was the Democrats rioting. He knew that. They just lied. They pretended they didn't know. They know. They know. I'll condemn the rioting if I see it in the right. Without hesitation. And I think the election was stolen. And I'll still condemn the rioting. I'll still condemn the violence. Not the left. What violence? I don't see any. Pathetic, sad, immoral, garbage people. That's what you are. But I'll still reach out across to you. I will. But you're pathetic. Not everyone, by the way. It's not what I'm saying. There were plenty of people on the left. But let's not kid ourselves. The problem's way worse on the left than it is on the right. We know who was doing the violence. We know who was supporting it or ignoring it. Dale D says, reach across the aisle means surrender your civil liberties at a slow boil. No, it doesn't. That's not what I'm suggesting. I'm suggesting that eventually there will be people on the left that realize that Joe Biden and the establishment is screwing them over. They thought that electing a 47-year veteran of Washington was going to fight back against the establishment. And predictably, at some point they'll realize, oh, wait, that didn't happen. And that's our chance to reach across and say, yeah, it sucks. The establishment sucks. And we disagree with you on all this policy stuff. But the number one issue is fighting this corruption. That's when I say reaching across the aisle. I'm not saying give up any of our freedoms or anything like that. Right, of course, the Democrats are hypocrites. They went out and celebrated their victory, and Chuck Schumer was out in the crowd without a mask on and said, we're going to change this country. Yeah. What if we use the left standards against them? What would this country look like, right? So I was against all of the corruption I saw from the Biden-Obama administration directed towards Donald Trump. I was against it all. But I lost. My side lost. So why should my standards matter? Now, I wouldn't want to see Trump engaged in the same behaviors the left engaged him, the establishment used against him. I wouldn't want to see it. But why do my standards matter? I lost. The Democrats won. Joe Biden won. So it should be Joe Biden's standards, not Rob North's standards, right? So what would Joe Biden's standards be right now if you're Donald Trump? Well, Joe Biden has a transition team. Every single member of Joe Biden's transition team's phone should be monitored right now. If they talk to any foreign diplomat, they should be immediately arrested, right? It's a Logan Act violation. That's what Joe Biden said, right? When Flynn was trying to talk to a Russian diplomat, what did he say? That's a Logan Act violation. You can't talk to foreign diplomats when you're not in office. That's what they said, right? We need to unmask the names of the Biden people that are having this conversation. Unmask the details of those stories. Now, we don't have CNN, New York Times, New York Post, blah, blah, blah. But what we do, or not New York Post, New York Times, Washington Post. But we do have OAN. We have Newsmax. Release it to there. Unmask all the Biden people, right? I said this the other night in a friend show. I don't know if you knew this. This is going to blow your mind. This is true. I was actually doing my radio show, and I had a Biden staffer call in and want to meet me for drinks. Low-level Biden staffer, but we went to the local bar, and we started to have some drinks. And this Biden staffer told me, he said, hey, Rob, listen, I got to tell you something, man. I was talking to this guy, and he said he was Chinese, and he said the Chinese government has emails on Donald Trump, and that they show that Donald Trump's corrupt. He was drunk when he told me that. Low-level staffer. So start the spying, right? Time for a 4-year operation. Correct? Right? Right, my Democrat friends? A drunk said that China had emails on Donald Trump. Well, that's it. Now we need to investigate Biden's team for 4 years. Go to the FISA court. Maybe Trump's team should pay a foreign spy to get dirt on Biden. And then we'll believe the dirt, and then we spy on Biden, right? That's only fair. That's not my standard. I would be against that. I would criticize it. But that's the Democrat standard, right? That's what we should be doing, right? Oh, of course, you got to look at Kamala's people too, of course. Let's raid their lawyers' offices in the middle of the night, right? Let's tip off Newsmax as we drag out Biden surrogates in the middle of the night in their underwear like they did to Roger Stone, right? Only fair. That's reasonable. Like when they tipped off CNN. RSX says, Trump already betrayed the country with Ukraine for dirt on Biden. No. If that's the case, if the argument is that a president asking other countries to cooperate with investigations into their political opponent is a crime, the Barack Obama should be in prison right now. Barack Obama and his team actively worked with our allies in the Five Eyes organization in order to spy on Donald Trump. to get dirt on him. So why is that okay, but it's not okay? The quid pro quo of Joe Biden for using $1 billion of our tax dollars to fire a prosecutor looking into his son's company. That quid pro quo was legitimate. But the alleged unproven quid pro quo of Donald Trump asking the Ukraine to look into that corruption, that's not legitimate. Yes, that's exactly. So it's okay to withhold foreign aid to keep your son out of jail, but not okay to withhold foreign aid to investigate the previous vice president withholding aid to keep his son out of jail. That's your argument? That's not dirt. He could withhold foreign aid for any reason he wants. If he thought the reason that the alleged quid pro quo of Joe Biden was okay was, oh, well, we didn't want to give $1 billion to a corrupt country that had corrupt prosecutors. Well, if you're Donald Trump, you're thinking, look how corrupt these prosecutors are. When they received $1 billion bribe from Joe Biden, they dropped the case into his son's company. So we don't want to give money to that company that has corrupt prosecutors until they prove they're not corrupt. Now, it's not a poor argument. It again shows the double standards. And I get it, Arisek. I get it. I get what it's like to be on the left. I do. It's totally cool for you to be a hypocrite. I get it. No. Withholding aid to stop a prosecutor that's looking into your son. Perfectly legitimate. Perfectly legitimate use of the money. That's fine. Withholding that sort of aid's fine. But withholding aid to want to investigate that corruption, that's a crime. It's laughable. You're right. It isn't about left or right. If I've said this once, I've said it 1,000 times. Anytime an executive branch official withholds huge amounts of U.S. tax dollars to force the firing of a prosecutor looking into a company that his son or his family is on the board of directors of, there should be an investigation, period. That's right. It's not partisan. But it was because the left had no problem with it. They had a problem with Trump investigating it. That was their problem. Nonetheless, that's a red herring from what I was talking about anyways. What does that Ukraine situation have to do with Trump going to the FISA court and getting a FISA warrant to spy on Joe Biden's team because he heard a rumor that Joe Biden, there's tapes out there that Joe Biden's getting peed on, and he heard a rumor that some drunken Joe Biden staff said that a Chinese official might have emails on Donald Trump. Does everyone see, though? Can everyone see in the chat? This is what you deal with people like this, Arisek. Arisek's the same person that says, kids in cages are bad. My God, is it immoral? Kids in cages. We need to do everything we can. Whoever built these cages, Donald Trump, you bastard. Kids in cages. It was Barack Obama. Oh, those kids deserve to be caged. Anyways, moving on. We don't want to talk about kids in cages now. No, I know you didn't say that, Arisek. I said you're that type of person. I know foreign aid blackmail undermines the country. Yes, I do. That's why Joe Biden should be in prison. That's why Barack Obama should be in prison. They issued foreign aid blackmail. That's exactly what they did. They admitted in a quid pro quo to not giving $1 billion unless they fired the prosecutor looking at Joe Biden's son's company. That's exactly what happened. That is exactly foreign aid blackmail. Now, in the case of Donald Trump, we do not have an admission from him that the aid was tied to that. We have the accusation. We saw the transcripts of the call. There was no quid pro quo. But people say, well, he was insinuating. See, Arisek, and there he is. I'm out. Got it? See how that works? Foreign aid blackmail is wrong. Foreign aid blackmail is wrong. Blackmail, like, you don't get this $1 billion unless you fire the prosecutor looking at Joe Biden's son's company. Arisek doesn't have a problem with that. That sort of blackmail is fine. No problem. But Trump saying, hey, we're considering what to do with this money. But what was up with this investigation? What was up with Ukrainian interference into the 2016 election? What was up with the situation where the previous administration gave you $1 billion to fire a prosecutor? What's up, disabled vet? Do you see how the people on the left are? They're smarter than you, though, right? They're smarter than you. Until you actually bring facts, and then they're like, well, no, it's different. Oh, really? What's different? Tell me exactly what you're saying is wrong. Well, it's wrong to blackmail a foreign country with a quid pro quo. Okay, that's exactly what Biden did. Yeah, but that was allowed. Why? Well, because it was harmless when Biden did it. And then once you prove it, what do they say? I'm leaving, man. You're not making sense. Of course he did, Epic. He says, I think Arasek got a little more than he bargained for. That's the way. I've done these debates. You saw. I debated a person named Pisco on this very issue on the left. It was not, all it was all instances of foreign interference need to be investigated. Really? That's the claim. Yeah, we need to investigate. Oh, okay, so the Hunter Biden laptop? No, that's different. Right. They don't know, though. Look, it's tough. We have a privilege as conservatives. We do it. And that privilege is people force us to back up our positions. The left most of them never had that. He's on Twitch in his bubble with a bunch of other Twitch people that say, of course, Joe Biden's quid pro quo was totally legitimate. Yep. Yeah. I debated this Twitch streamer, Destiny. He said that the reason Trump was impeached had nothing to do with Joe Biden. Threatening to withhold aid in itself is impeachable. Okay, well, we know Obama and Biden did that. He said, what aboutism? What aboutism? Okay, Joe Biden's president now. So you're supporting his impeachment? Because when he was vice president, he threatened to withhold aid? Right? Oh, no, now it's different. Now that was in the past. These people were hilarious. So anyways, back to my original point. So I guess the left will be supporting Donald Trump using foreign spies, disinformation to spy on Joe Biden now, right? Right? If Trump did that, they would be like, perfectly reasonable. That's perfectly reasonable. We'll start an FBI investigation called Crossfire Corn Pop, right? Let's get on it right now. In fact, how about this? We don't know if we could trust the FBI, so a special counsel, and it'll be made up of 17 Trump supporters. How's that sound? Right? Fair enough. The left don't have a problem with that. They said that's fine. And then it turns out that a lot of the agents working on the investigation are saying that they hate Joe Biden and they hate Biden supporters and they need an insurance policy against him. No problem. Right, my friends on the left? That would be perfectly reasonable. No problem there. Right? That's what they've said. That's what they've set up, right? Oh, of course, FTW nil. The privilege comes with a huge backlash. But I wouldn't have it any other way. I feel bad. I feel bad for somebody. It's worse than hating them. I feel bad for them. I feel bad. I feel bad for being the type of person that when a story comes out that shows your side's corruption, you say, I have to wait for CNN to tell me what to say to this. Someone please tell me. What am I supposed to say to this? What am I supposed to say? Oh, Vouch put out a video. Yeah, what Vouch said. It's hilarious. I feel terrible. I feel terrible to live that life. So, all right, my hour's up. So, apologize for the tech issues in the middle. So, what am I going to be doing here in the future? Look, the point of this show, which of course, as always, it gets off the rails, but that's okay. It makes it more entertaining. The point of this show was we need to start to understand that if this election goes the way it looks, that what we need to do, the first step is you have to make sure that the people that your allies are really your allies. Some of them aren't going to be immoral people. Some of them are just going to be people that you disagree with, which I apologize. I should have been easier on Loyal Logic there. But they'll say things like, this was a victory for us. Republican 2022. We need to back Lindsey Graham. Those people aren't your allies. They think they are, but they're not. They're not. Fox News isn't your ally. They're not. I'll still have to. Do you want to know what Fox News is good for right now? Fox News, the only thing that it helps is the people on the left that don't watch it. Anytime you bring up media bias, they say, what about Fox News? Fox News has been pro-Democrat and anti-Trump for 4 years. But we have to pretend like they're a right-wing news source. It's not right-left. It's establishment versus the people. And there's certainly establishment. Now, I like Tucker, but that's the only one. And there could be good individuals on Fox, but I'm getting a little better at being gentlemanly too to people that are ignorant, but you know. That's step one. That's what this show is about. Step one. That was it. I had a bunch of other steps. It's important to reach out to people that are screwed over by the establishment of all different backgrounds. What can you do in your personal life to change things, right? Running for office, making sure that anyone you support, the letter next to their name is less important than do they actually care about the people. If you just say, oh, they have an R next to their name, they're a Republican, they must be good. You're not winning. That's not winning. Treble Clef says, I'd rather the establishment be in control than the far left, to be honest. The problem is the establishment will just use the tactics of the far left, because the far left, the one thing they claim, so I have plenty of friends that are socialists or communists, right? But even their ideology is, well, we're good people, so if we had all the power, then we could get some stuff done. I mean, even a socialist, in effect, that's what they're saying. More government power, more centralized government. And if we were in charge, we know we're good people. So if the government was all powerful and we were in control of it, we know it would go good. That's exactly how every communist organization or every communist country started. The establishment, they look at that and say, oh, great. We'll use those tools. We'll pretend to be, yes, socialism. Yes, you're right. More power for the government. Yep, we'll help the little guy. So the things that make the radical left bad, eventually the establishment will endorse. Not because they have the same goal, but because the radical left's agenda, what it relies on is give the government all the power, then the government will do the right thing. So the anti-establishment people, the irony is, as an anti-establishment person, their solution relies on giving the establishment total power. And then they think, but we'll take it over. It's not going to happen. My solution is less power for the government, less power for them, more freedom for everyone. That's my solution. So when it comes to the debate between the radical left and the establishment, remember, the establishment will use the tactics of the radical left. Heck, they'll use the radical left. It'll just come down at the end to, and I've said this a million times, the difference between AOC and Bernie Sanders versus Nancy Pelosi is as follows. I firmly believe Bernie Sanders and AOC believe what they preach. They hate billionaires. They hate them. They like millionaires. They like what they are. Every cent they have is good, but anybody with 1 cent more than Bernie Sanders is evil. Bernie having a third lake house, no problem. Bernie flying first class, no problem. That's all legit to Bernie. He believes that, and he believes anyone with 1 cent more than him is immoral. If Bernie Sanders was giving total control, he would go after Jeff Bezos. He would. He would go after Bill Gates. He would go after George Soros. He would say they shouldn't have their money. That's what Bernie Sanders would do. Bernie would keep his money. Make no mistake about it. He's a hypocrite. He's immoral, but he believes what he's preaching. AOC, the same. The Pelosi's, the Schumers, they look at it and they say, yeah, we believe everything that they just said. That what Bernie did, the total power for the left. Yep, we agree with all that. The only thing is, we're not going to punish Bill Gates. We're not going to punish George Soros. We're not going to punish Zuckerberg. They've bought and paid for us. That's it. That's the only difference. But they'll use all the tools that Bernie Sanders would use. They'll just make sure there's loopholes so their corporate friends keep their money. That's it. That's the only difference. Now, what does that mean to you if you're not in Bernie or Pelosi's little clique? You're screwed either way. That's what it means. But I'm willing to reach out to the Bernie people because we could have that fight later. The first fight is our voice doesn't matter anyways if the corrupt establishment doesn't allow our voice to matter and they're going to steal elections. So it's bleak politically for us. I mean, let's be honest. Let's call a spade a spade. And this is going to piss off Trump supporters, but this is the truth. AOC stands a much better chance of harming the establishment than Trump supporters do right now. Just the truth. Why? Because the entire narrative's against Trump supporters. All of our culture is against Trump supporters. But it's not with AOC. It's aligned with kind of AOC and the establishment. So that gives them a chance to fight back. We don't have that. Everyone's against us. Right, the left's better with working with young people. Hey, I totally agree. So, all right, I do have to get going. So I'll be back here at 8 a.m. tomorrow morning. Anyone who donated financially, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I am broke as a joke. I'm going to keep doing this. I'm not doing it for money, though. I appreciate financial donations, but if I never get a dime, I'll still be here. What it does mean is I'll be putting far less time starting today into other political projects that I have. I just don't have the time for it. I practice the importance of self-responsibility, and I would be a massive hypocrite if I continue to ignore the well-being of my family in the name of pushing for politics. So it will not happen. I'm done with a lot of that stuff. And there are people listening that say, but Rob, don't you have a bunch of political people saying if you just keep doing this? Don't you have a lot of people in media saying if you just keep doing this, eventually it'll pay off? I do. I can no longer wait to listen to those people. So I will be pushing for myself and my family and what I could do. And then I'll be doing this show. So 8 a.m. every day, I'll be doing this show. Any financial donations appreciated. If you don't have money to give, neither do I, so I don't mind. Consider liking and subscribing. If not, I strongly advocate for you. Please follow me on DLive if you're on YouTube. Please. Or Twitch even. Though Twitch will probably censor me eventually too. YouTube's going to kick me off. You understand that? All of you Trump people that are subscribing to me on YouTube, they're going to kick you off as well too. So I strongly consider going to a platform like DLive. I'm still going to broadcast on YouTube as long as they'll let me, but I'm just telling you, if you wanted to do something to help me, go to Normal America on DLive.tv/Normal America and follow me there. You can find everything that I do here, there, and every donation you give to me, 100% comes to me, as opposed to YouTube that takes like 20% out. But if you keep using YouTube, don't be surprised when not just me, but all the supporters you follow, or all the subscribers you have, when they just disappear. It's going to happen. So, that would be a great way you could support me. And you could recommend me to some other people. So I'll be back. Look, I know it was pessimistic today. It wouldn't have been as pessimistic if we could just accept. I'm not saying accept the laws. There was fraud. It definitely was fraud. We should fight it and point it out every single chance. Trump should fight it until all options are exhausted. Of course. But if you put victories into, we proved the pollsters wrong, we set ourselves up right for 2022, you're not looking at it this the right way. And it seems pessimistic, but it's not. It's hopeful to say you correctly point out what the situation is, and then you move forward. That's what I'm suggesting. We can't get to the optimism until we're honest about what this defeat was. That's it. It sounds pessimistic, but it's not. It's not. It is the first step to optimism. What real pessimism is saying, well, the courts will save us, and then they don't. And then you say, but here's another thing. The FBI will step in, and then they don't. But okay, but the state legislators will step in, but they don't. That's pessimism, continually getting your hopes up on faith when you shouldn't have that faith, and then being devastated. It's not pessimistic to say, let's take an honest evaluation of the situation and move forward. No, let me be clear for the 1 millionth time. That does not mean I don't think there was fraud in this election. I think I've outlined the case, both how there was fraud during the election and how they stole the election months before through the Republican and, let's be honest, Donald Trump's inaction on tech censorship, media corruption, and other things. The FBI coup, etc. So certainly I think the election was stolen. No doubt in my mind. At least the former, I absolutely have proof of that. And I listened to the left tell me that 12 Russian trolls using Facebook stole an election. So I'm not going to listen to them go, well, that's just sour grapes. Please, shut up. Oh, yeah, I hear you, Roy. Yeah, Roy says he didn't mean it like that. Yeah, I get you. Yeah, Nickel Liquor, I was absolutely clear. For months, I kept saying, well before COVID, I kept saying, there's videos of me yelling worse than I was today. Like, what are you thinking? What are all these Republican people doing? Saying Trump's going to win 48 states, red landslide. I was like, they're going to collapse the economy intentionally. That's what's going to happen. And then they did that. They did it with COVID. And I was on here yelling, why do I have so many Trump supporters that are defending this lockdown? And they left. They said, Rob, you're stupid. Trump's got it locked up. I said, they're going to use this. They're going to use it to collapse the economy. It's part of the reason to steal the election from Trump. But a bunch of Trump supporters told me I was wrong. When I say Trump supporter, again, I'm a Trump supporter, so I'm saying people on my side. Of course, the Democrats told me I was wrong. Of course, they did. Then I said, they're stealing the election. What are the Republicans doing on this text censorship? What are they doing on these lockdowns? What are they doing? They're allowing this to be stolen. Everyone kept telling me, red wave, red wave, red wave. Okay. We could have, if people were thinking pessimistically like me, they could have been pushing Trump like declassify it now. Break up these monopolies now. Release this laptop of Hunter Biden months ago. We could have been pushing for all that. But instead, so many people were sitting back like, can't wait to drink up those salty liberal tears. Trump's got this wrapped up. Now it's too late. That's right. But it's not too late to do nothing. It's just we climbed up the mountain. We were near the top and we fell rock bottom. Right at the base. That's where we're at now. So it's time to start the 30-year climb back up. I'm willing to do it. I'm in. I'm all in. I love this country. I will fight for this people of this country, Republican, Democrat, Independent. I don't care. I'll fight with them till the day I die. I have to focus on my family first and foremost, but I'll always be in this fight in some capacity. I'm not giving up at all. I'm just being realistic. And instead of saying, man, we fell down the mountain, we hit the floor, let's dust ourselves up and start back up the mountain. Instead, people were like, we fell off the mountain, but we didn't. We didn't really fall off the mountain. And they're digging deeper. So we still haven't hit rock bottom. So I have to do shows like this going, no, we didn't win. No, it's not, oh, well, let's look for the positives in this. That's garbage. Oh, it's much harder to fight. Look, I'm telling you, I would not be shocked if we may never have a populist president again. Ever. If we do, it'll be 30 years. Not all of you have 30 years. I might not have 30 years. I'm 36. I don't know. That's depressing, but it was foreseeable. And it wasn't foreseen. And so now what each of our job is to say, what can we do now? What can we do to go forward? That's it. I can't wait. Yeah, I can't wait for Hank either. So, but yeah, so it'll get better. It will. You have your family. You have yourself, your self-respect, right? That's the most important things in life. If you defended Trump, even though it was societally unpopular, you did the right thing. If you're loyal logic and you're now saying, but the Republicans, I think he's making a strategic error, but he's a good person. He did the right thing. He supported Trump when it was unpopular. There was no risk to people culturally to support Joe Biden. None. It's not brave. You were brave if you supported Trump. If you saw why, even if he's flawed, and he certainly was, and he made tons of mistakes. By the way, you know what else Trump should do today? Pardon Julian Assange. Like that. Snowden, Assange, everyone. Pardoned. Done. And then put a microphone in front of Assange's face. That's what he should do today. He made mistakes. He trusted the people around him that had no intention of actually supporting him. Bill Barr was telling him, oh, no, we don't need to declassify. Trust us, sir. Before the election, we'll make sure that this corruption's out. The American people will see how corrupt this was against you. And Trump went, okay. I think, this is just my feeling, I think Trump's tone changed a week outside the election. I think it did. I think he was like, wait a minute. I was told by all these people around me that all this corruption would be outed, that they've showed me occurred, and now they're silent? Now they're telling me we have to wait a little longer. You remember Pompeo came out and said, oh, we're going to release Hillary's emails before the election. Trump believed that shit. He did. He believed Bill Barr saying, we're looking into it. We're looking into it. He believed it. Now he pays the price. Donald Trump's life will be torn asunder. He will be in court the rest of his life. They will try to throw him into prison. They will try to throw his family into prison. They will try to make sure that every person in public life that supported him is punished in some way. They're not going to send rail cars to your house to throw you in FEMA camps. That's not what it's going to be. They don't even have to announce it. It'll just be known. Oh, you applied for that job. Oh, this guy supported Trump. They're not going to tell you that's why. That's what's happening. Trump will pay the biggest price. He will. He may go to prison. For what? Who cares? They'll make something up. What do they care? He'll be a pariah. His own party will hate him. Not us, not the people that supported him, but the people that supposedly are in charge of the Republican Party. They hate him. They never liked him. Yeah, I didn't talk about it today. We'll talk about it more tomorrow. I'm already 20 minutes over, but, my Democrat friends are celebrating that George Bush and all the neocons are supporting Joe Biden. Good. So. Yeah, Nickel, I know I'll be digitally lynched. That's fine. That's why I'm encouraging people to go to DLive. I can't get a reach there, though. I can't. I keep asking my YouTube followers. I keep asking my Twitch followers, go to DLive, go to DLive, go to DLive. I get like 3 people that watch me on DLive. So I'm trying my best. I don't know. I tried to do DLive exclusives. That didn't work. I had 3 people watching. So if you're out there and you're agreeing with everything I say, please, the most important thing you could do to keep hearing this is to go to DLive because they're going to censor me. Don't be shocked when it happens. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. Twitch is going to censor me. It's going to happen. They've already tried. When I do these debate panels, they tried to call me transphobic or something, get me censored. Because I repeated language that a trans person used back to me. They talked about men in dresses. I said, I don't have a problem with men in dresses. They said, oh, you're calling trans people men in dresses? No, that's not what I said. I was responding to the people you were talking about. Yeah, Epic's there. Thanks, man. Chris is there. David Coleman, we'll see you later. Thanks for listening. I'm sorry you think that it's negative crap. Enjoy your false hope. Enjoy. It makes you sleep better. You need your comfy teddy bear. I got it. Hey, I hope I'm wrong. Good luck. We'll see, Treble Clef. I would prefer to be on a platform that I don't have to hope chooses not to censor me. But so, all right, everyone. Thank you so much. I really appreciate each and every one of you, even those that disagree. Sorry if you felt... Yeah, thanks, Roy. I'm still on Above Top Secret. You can check out that website if you want. My name's Grambler. I got a Bill Hicks avatar on Above Top Secrets. Yeah. Thanks so much, even those that disagreed with me. It makes the show better. I really appreciate it. I will be back here at 8 o'clock tomorrow. Every weekday, 8 a.m. on whatever platform you're watching on. So thanks so much, everyone. As always, have a good one.